Hello everyone and welcome back to the video. Today we're going to be doing the top 5 things you didn't know about Age of Empires 2. And basically I'm hoping that I can provide some extra information that could help you in niche cases in your games, or just fun information that now you know but before you didn't. So hopefully you'll learn something new here. We've got 5 on the list. You might know 1 or 2 if you're an avid Age of Empires 2 viewer or player, but I'm still going to surprise you with a few of them on the list, I'm sure. Let's hop into it at number 5. So for number 5, we've got dodging ballistics. This is one that's a little bit more mainstream, but is a very important tip to know if you don't know about it or if you don't know how to do it. I'm going to explain all this right now. Basically, if you don't have ballistics, how projectiles work in Age of Empires 2 is as follows. If a knight is moving, for example, a knight is moving away from a crossbow that's trying to attack that knight, as long as the knight is a few tiles away from the crossbow and moving at an angle that's away from the crossbow, not just directly at it, you'll never be able to hit that knight with the crossbow. It's impossible. You can shoot 100 times, and if he continues to move at a reasonable distance, you'll never be able to hit him. The only way to counteract this without ballistics is to close the distance with a crossbow and shoot him from up close. Even if he's moving away from you, you can still land some shots, or if the knight is running directly at you, you can run the shots as he attacks you. However, we want to have a counterplay to the knight running away from us and us shooting at him from distance, and that is why ballistics is a technology that changes the way projectiles work for that game. Once you do have ballistics, if you shoot at a knight that's moving, you will be able to land your shots consistently as long as the opponent or the knight doesn't know how to dodge ballistics, which there is a trick. So in this case, once you have ballistics, your opponent cannot dodge your arrows anymore, and you can easily kill him if he doesn't know the trick. Once again, the trick to dodge ballistics, what we've all been waiting for. Basically, after your opponent shoots and he's got ballistics, you want to be moving one way with the knight, and then after he shoots, you move exactly another way. It doesn't have to be the opposite way. It doesn't have to be a big movement. It just has to be leaving the trajectory you were on. It's very important. So if you're moving left and your opponent has ballistics, he shoots, immediately you want to move right after the projectile is released. That's the only trick. Move away from the trajectory after the projectile is released, and you will be able to dodge ballistics 100% of the time. This is quite hard to do at first because you need some good reaction time and need to know how fast the archers or the crossbow shoot or whatever projectile you're trying to dodge. But with some practice, you can do it very consistently. And if you keep an eye out in pro play, pros are always looking to dodge their opponent's ballistics once they know their opponent has it. This is a great trick that works against crossbows, it works against castles, it works even in naval combat versus galleys. So be sure to be on the lookout and learn this trick, because it will save you a lot of games and a lot of small losses when taking fights against range units. Next up for number 4, and this is gonna be about quick walling. We all know how annoying it is to get quick walled in and how satisfying it is to quick wall others in, but there's obviously some counterplay to this now that we have the gate foundations with 0 armor. This is an important thing that a lot of people don't know about, and it's been in the game for a few years now, so you definitely should know by now, and if you don't, then here I am telling you. Gate foundations, both stone gates and palisade gates, have 0 armor until they're fully built. That means that if your opponent is trying to masterpiece you with like 4 gates trapping your men-at-arms, you can easily just attack the gate as soon as you see the foundation with the men-at-arms, and oftentimes you're going to be able to break it and cost your opponent 30 wood. It's so easy to do because if the opponent is building it with 1 villager, it will have such low HP that if you act fast enough, you can easily just one-shot that with your 3 men-at-arms and your scouts and prevent the trap from happening altogether, and your opponent is the one that looks foolish. This also works in Castle Age. If you've got some knights and your opponent is trying to stone gate you, just target the stone gate right away. It won't work every time because the stone gate does get built very fast, but it has 0 armor, so if you can actually attack it in good time with a few knights, you might be able to break it before the villager is able to get enough HP on it. This also works with archers. Archers, it works better for them because they do more damage. If you've got like a group of 20 or 30 crossbows, all their shots will land, whereas the knights, you can only get like a few of them on the gate at once. So if your opponent is making a stone gate or a palisade gate and you've got a big group of archers, immediately attack the gate and push the villager off it, and then you can easily kill the gate right after that with 1 or 2 volleys if they don't have a lot of HP on it. Very, very good tip at getting into your opponent's space when they're trying to quick wall you out. Alright, for number 3 on the list, we've got the fact that you can lure boars with anything. We all know that you can lure boars with villagers, and that's the typical thing, and you might know that you can lure a boar with a scout, and that's what allows laming in the early game, stealing your opponent's boars with your scout, bringing it back to your town center. However, you can literally lure boars with anything. I've lured a boar with a archer in a ranked game. I've also lured a boar with a spearman. I've lured a boar with a knight. You can also lure a boar with galleys and fire galleys on the water. You can also lure a boar with a scorpion. It's so crazy that literally anything can lure a boar. This isn't useful in like 99.99% of games, but now you know something that you didn't know before, and I hope that does literally nothing for you except maybe make you smile at the knowledge gained.
Okay.
Alright, for number 2, we've got another useless tip. It's the fact that a fully upgraded Aztec monk will literally beat 1v1 any other unit in the game. It's literally the best 1v1 unit. It beats a Hussar, assuming the Hussar starts at max range away from the monk, because now they've changed it that it takes like minimum 8 seconds to convert a Hussar, and the monk at 12 range should be having more than enough time to get that conversion. I hope I'm not wrong because this change is relatively recent, so I'm not sure if it will work every time, but in the past it did. But literally any other unit, like a Trebuchet, you just have to dodge the attack rounds, walk up close, and convert it. If you're talking like a Boar Elephant, that's an easy convert. A Knight, a Paladin, is an easy convert. Any other unit, a Longbowman, easy convert, is 12 range versus 12 range. So yeah, this is a useless tip to know, but let's turn into something a little bit more practical. So basically, monks are a super cost-effective unit. For just 100 gold, you can have a unit that can get an easy conversion on a Knight, which is 60 food and 75 gold, which is a lot more than just the 100 resources. And not only do you kill the Knights, but you actually get it to your side. So you're getting pretty much double the value from just a conversion. And even if that monk dies right after, it's still a good trade. So people think that monks can just be healers and something to get relics, but the monks are actually a really good military unit and can help you win a lot of fights. So think of it as an upgrade to your composition in early Castle Age, and something that can be very cost effective and also have other applicabilities like picking up relics and healing your army. Alright, for number 1 on the list, we've got Scorpion Pseudo Attack Round. I'm gonna have to explain this one. I'm gonna do the best possible job I can because it's a little bit weird. But basically, other units in the game that are siege with range, like mangonels, bombard cannons, trebuchets, they all have an attack round function that lets you predict where your opponent's gonna move and attack round there, regardless whether he has enemies there or not. This is obviously a really good tip or a really good move in general to do with siege weapons. However, the Scorpions don't have this function. So how do you counter units that are moving with the Scorpion? It turns out it's all about the angles. Imagine this scenario. Your opponent has 30 crossbows and he's moving away from you. You've got, let's say, 3 or 4 Scorpions. Now, Scorpions don't get one shot by crossbows in most cases because crossbow will deal only 1 damage to the Scorpion. This is also true for cav archers in most cases. In Castle Age, they do only 1 damage to the Scorpion per shot. So feel free to walk into range with the Scorpions before shooting from far. You could get a better shot. The reason this is important is that which unit we attack matters a lot. For example, if our opponent is standing still, we want to shoot the unit that's in the middle of the army because that's going to be able to get the most amount of spread damage or pass through damage with the Scorpions, and you can actually do some crazy shots if you know this trick. However, it gets a lot more complicated if your opponent is moving. Let's say your opponent is moving with a group of 30 crossbows and he's moving towards the left. What you want to do is attack the unit that's the leftmost of his army. That means that if you attack that unit, he's moving towards the left, so by the time the shot lands, it's going to land in the middle of his army instead of at the side, and you're going to get that massive spread that we talked about. If you try to attack the rightmost unit while he's moving left of his army, you're going to be able to scratch the rightmost unit and hit pretty much nothing else because his army moved away from there, and you're not getting the value that you normally get from the Scorpions. This is extremely important because siege weapons are all about getting the mass amount of AoE damage, especially against the grouped up armies in Castle Age. So Scorpions are a great answer, and once you learn this trick, you'll be able to easily kill mass armies of crossbows because nowadays mangonels are starting to be very inefficient since people are so good at microing against them. Alright guys, that's 5 things I hope you didn't know about Age of Empires 2, but now you do. If you guys enjoyed the video, make sure to drop a like and subscribe, and a comment always helps the algorithm as well. I'm dedicated to making better Age of Empires 2 and Age of Empires 4 content and straying away from the gameplay videos. So if you have any ideas, let me know in the comments below. I'll do them if I like the idea. Thanks for watching guys, I'll see you guys next time. Peace.